If the ever-changing and fast-paced evolution of technology and business has you wishing you had the right-sized partner to guide you through your IT landscape, it's time for you to meet the experts at YASH Technologies and C5MI. Tech Talk Managing the New Normal with YASH Technologies and C5MI connects you with the best business experts who are making this happen for companies all across the world. We delve into global business challenges, from SAP S/4, managed services and the digital workplace, to live factory, infrastructure, and much more. Tune into the Business Channel to hear today's top technology industry experts share their insights on how companies like yours are partnering with YASH Technologies and C5MI to transform their IT landscapes. Welcome to a revolutionary hour of business technology talk. This is Tech Talk, Managing the New Normal, with YASH Technologies and C5MI. You'll hear from the experts with the know-how to revolutionize and transform your business for a truly efficient, actionable technology transformation during both prosperous and challenging times. Now, here's your host and moderator, Bonnie D. Graham.
Marty Groover, co-founder and partner at C5MI. I learned to say it and spell it, Marty, in the years I've known you. Marty is a retired U.S. Navy officer who spent 12 years in industrial manufacturing before he started C5MI in 2018. Marty, take center stage, please. Welcome back. How are you?
Great, Bonnie. Great to be here. Yeah, this is probably one of the most exciting topics for me as a retired Navy officer. My job was for reliability center maintenance, making sure the weapon systems worked, and talk about never being able to fail. You couldn't go up to the captain and go, I don't know why the missile didn't fire, sir. That wasn't an option. So I've lived my whole life in that environment of maintenance and reliability center maintenance. And with these new tools that we're going to talk about, and especially C5MI with our live factory and our digital reliability center maintenance and bringing it all into one common operational picture with Industry 4.0, maintenance is going to be one of the most important things that we see going forward. You cannot afford downtime. So today we'll discuss, the different types of maintenance and how to get to prescriptive and predictive and all those good things you hear, but also how do we look at the talent that's out there? And there's not a lot of people that know how to repair this stuff. So we'll talk about that, and then about how COVID, the maintenance and Industry 4.0 maintenance, DRCM, can support the companies as we go forward with COVID. But first, I want to play this video like we did last week that'll really kind of set the tone for what we're going to discuss.
And Marty, I want to tell our listeners on the Voice America Business Channel, you will hear the audio from the video. You may miss the beautiful images and the graphics, but you will be able to hear everything.
Revolutionize your processes with digital reliability-centered maintenance. Every organization believes its production methodology is unique. While underlying details may be different, all manufacturing organizations face similar maintenance asset challenges. Siloed information leads to incoherent data and lacks a single version of the truth. This generally accepted run-to-failure approach only addresses immediate impact, resulting in increased maintenance cost and volatility. Without a proactive maintenance approach, equipment breaks down without warning, leading to unplanned downtimes. This can result in increased operational cost and quality defects, ending in low yield and throughput. The C5MI DRCM solution architecture and implementation methodology, blended with accelerators, will address these challenges and drive transformation across the asset maintenance lifecycle. Our best practices in equipment hierarchy definition plays a vital role in driving transformation across the plant maintenance ecosystem. DRCM brings together equipment-related information and all stakeholders. This establishes a collaborative, single version of the truth as the asset common operational picture. Our expertise in accelerators in risk and criticality, as well as failure modes and effects analysis, will help drive a lean maintenance strategy across any manufacturing enterprise. Expertise in equipment hierarchy, coupled with our robust CBM template, will set the stage for asset digital twin, condition-based monitoring, and predictive maintenance. Using the mobile-enabled DRCM solution, will deliver increased worker efficiency and data accuracy. C5MI experts are trusted business practitioners with decades of experience managing plant maintenance systems, shop floor operations, and manufacturing supply chains for Fortune 100 organizations across the globe. We architected DRCM with a futuristic vision of aligning organizations to the Maintenance 4.0 roadmap by merging people, process, and technology. Let us bring your manufacturing maintenance execution into the next century and beyond.
Marty, another home run. I don't know if anybody had popcorn, but that was a really cool video. You have wonderful, wonderful people who create videos for you. So kudos to the company. Marty, why don't you start to talk about this now? We'd love to hear from you.
So the key to this is, and you heard about it, run to fail. A lot of companies these days, when in the manufacturing supply chain, things run to fail. Well, what does that mean? We don't know when it's going to break. We're going along happy as can be, producing our products. All of a sudden that piece of machinery, equipment, whatever breaks. And the best day at work, when I was a factory manager, I told the people at work, I said, what's the best day at work? And he said, when everything works the way it's supposed to. Exactly. Every time those machines break down and you have that unplanned downtime, you're leaking money, you're failing. Somewhere you got to make it up. Either you're making bad quality or the machine breaks and you're paying for all those people to be there and the technicians are trying to repair it. It's really a problem. And going forward with Industry 4.0, you really can't afford, because these systems are going to be so integrated that one piece of machinery going down is going to be very complicated. The key piece of this is how do we live condition-based monitoring? What does that mean? It sounds like a fancy term. What it means is we have sensors on the equipment. We can read those sensors and we can start seeing failures before they happen. So for instance, I had a BMW, and one time the car just started slowing down to 45 miles an hour. The technician called me over the speaker in the car, which was amazing to me at that point. But they said, look, you're having a problem with your your electric water pump. The frequency on it's acting up and it's going to fail. The car slowed itself down so it wouldn't leave you on the road dead. The dealer's up the road. They're ready to repair. If you can get there, just turn the car off, turn it back on and drive. It was just totally mind blowing to me. But that's about how you not run to fail. The old fashioned cars would have just broke down alongside the road. Steam would have been pouring out of it, right? You would have had that problem. Then you had to call a tow truck. That's the idea. How do we condition-based monitoring the equipment, see those failures before they happen, not only see them, but tell you they're going to happen. And just like we talked about in the opening, even have a technician ready to repair it and tell you exactly where to go or come to you. And in going forward, the prescriptive piece, not only do we know what's going on, but we know what to do to fix it. When you put those things together, what kind of value would that bring to our lives every day, but also to our manufacturing supply chains? When you look at the current state of where we're at, we can't afford the downtimes. We need every bit of productivity. And in the last 10 years, a little bit less than 10 years, our productivity has actually dropped. We got more data than ever, sensors everywhere, IIoT, but it's not connected right. And so that's a critical piece going forward to improve productivity, is pull all that data together into that common operational picture where the maintenance piece and the operations all gel together in one common operational picture.
Marty, I've heard you tell that car story before, and I'm always amazed, and I think you got it from a sci-fi movie. I really do, because we've been hearing about that with self-driven cars. We've been hearing about automation in automotive, in vehicles, and the fact that your car will say, Bob, the service station is waiting for you. The belt to repair the one that's about to break is going to wait until you get to John's service station, and they'll even have lunch for you. Thank you very much, Bob, for subscribing. And I hear you tell the story, and so Marty, is this a reality in Industry 4.0? Is this something that is happening? Because as businesses, factories, companies are getting ready to open with optimism and hope, they want to grow, they want to survive, they want to thrive, they want to get back to business, making money, doing what they need to do, sending their products out around the world, wherever they serve. They can't afford downtime now, Marty. We had imposed downtime for months. Nobody planned on it. It wasn't that a machine that broke, it was civilization that broke for the past 9 weeks. So Marty, how real is this for factories?
Well, that is a true story about that car. It's a 2012 BMW X5. So that's a reality. I didn't make that up. But yes, going forward, it's all about the failure modes. And this is where you start looking at failure modes. And in the past, we always had reliability center maintenance, but we didn't have a system that was a plan, do, check, act. With our digital reliability center maintenance, and that's why we spent the money to get a registered trademark for that name. We believe in it that much. But reliability center maintenance starts with identifying how it's going to fail. Then use an IIoT, which is sensors, Internet of Things, measuring those sensors and those systems that could fail, and then identifying the failure modes happening before they really fail and cause a problem. So the effects, what's the effects going to be? How can we prevent those? So yes, it's all about failure modes. And I can tell you, I've been on a couple interesting data science projects with predictive maintenance where they threw a bunch of data in a system and they said, we're detecting something, but it's not really telling us how it's going to fail. And that's the critical piece with our methodology, is we identify those failure modes beforehand, and then we go out and look at those signals and understand when they're going to fail. And I think that's the key piece for really driving reliability that it needs to be in the next industrial revolution.
Marty, I always get predictive and prescriptive confused. I'm sorry, I might be the only one in the room, but could you please define them for us? And then let's talk about the people aspect. The software sounds great. Condition-based maintenance sounds great. Do you need a person to be running it, to be watching it? Do you need new talent? Are we upskilling people who worked in the factory before this normal that's now, not the new one? So give me a couple of answers, please.
So predictive, I can tell you something's happening, it's going to fail. Prescriptive, I not only tell you it's going to fail, but I'm going to tell you what to do about it. Go get this part, do this, check this. And this is going to be critical for the upscale for the people. One of the problems that we have, 62% of companies are starting to realize it's hard to get skilled maintenance technicians out there now. Auto dealers, manufacturers, anybody working on heavy equipment. We just don't have that talent. It's not taught in our schools. It's not out there. So as the boomers retire, it's only exacerbating the problem. Industry 4.0 tools like DRCM will help with that. We have these, I'll just tell you this cool technology that it's under $1,000 now. You can go in a factory with a 360 degree camera. I can digitize in a picture all the equipment. Then with augmented reality, I can create a digital twin of a sensor on a piece of equipment. Now I can do a load sharing across a bunch of places with remote monitoring. What does that mean? I can have a senior technician sit in a control room and watch a lot of different equipment. And then when a technician has a problem with the predictive and prescriptive, he can talk to that technician, go do this. Now with an iPad, I can hold it up with augmented reality, look at the equipment, and he can tell them what to do remotely because I've already created a 3D model of the equipment. I've got a digital twin. He can see the sensors, the skilled technician, and he can start helping that younger technician or less skilled technician solve those problems. I did this in the Persian Gulf remotely with a Aegis radar system for the first time in 2004. Big clunky camera system going up through the satellite. Well, we did the first remote repair of equipment this way. So I know it's a reality. And it's starting to become the norm, or it's going to be the norm. There's just not enough skilled people out there to do it. That's the only way businesses are going to be able to maintain the equipment. Then it's going to change with Industry 4.0 because we're going to go more from operators and technicians to operator technicians. The people that operate the equipment, because it's going to be so automated, and we talked about this, is it going to get rid of all the people's jobs? No. But the dog's going to allow the operator and technician to repair the equipment, but the equipment's going to say, this is what I need you to do to fix me. And do this quickly, pull it out, fix it, and get it back online. And that operator is going to have to be upskilled to not only understand how that piece of equipment works, but how to repair it when it's got a problem. But these systems will allow them to have a lot more knowledge and will codify somebody's big brain on how the equipment works into that system, so that they don't have to know everything. They just have to know a couple things. And so it's going to be a really exciting world going forward with this capability.
Marty, it is. And I remember a couple of years ago, I hosted, I believe, one of my Game Changers shows for SAP was the future of manufacturing with Game Changers. And I was speaking with a panel and we were talking about how people used to say, Oh, I don't want to work in a factory. What is my kid going to do? He doesn't want to go to college. Well, he doesn't want to be in a smoky, dirty place and on an assembly line. And then somebody on the panel said, with all the new technology, and Marty, I think you're not talking futuristic, you're talking now, which makes it more exciting. And then somebody on the panel said, but working in a factory is getting exciting because his son or his daughter at the time was on the factory floor, the shop floor, and they had an iPad and they were looking at diagnostics. I know that's an old-fashioned word. At diagnostics, and they were coming home and saying, Dad, I have this really cool job. I've got this iPad they gave me and I'm understanding what's going on. I'm not just turning a screw in a widget. I'm actually part of the system of keeping the factory going. And there was this excitement, Marty. So is this going to help to solve the talent gap? The fact that it sounds like a cool place to work?
I think so. Remember those GE commercials that Jeffrey Immelt, when he was CEO, started going? They talked about, the future. I'm developing the future in the factories. And I thought Jeff, although whatever you think of him, he had the right idea about what we're talking about, which is predictive maintenance, all those things with industrial. He actually penned Industrial Internet of Things. That came from him. And I truly believe that's going to be a game changer. I've watched engineers from Georgia Tech. You put this in their hands and the stuff they can do with it. They're digital native. They're just this, they got this grip down, right? I mean, they're born that way. And you put these tools in their hands and this, you can't even imagine the stuff they come up with. So I do think it's going to change things, and it will change the image of manufacturing, Industry 4.0. It has to. We have all the data in the world. We've been digitized for 30 years. And now productivity is going down because we have too much. We've got to bring it together into a system, and we've got to start utilizing the digital twin and the common operational picture to drive the sort of holistic one view, sort of like we talked about last week with the iPhone. It's going to do the same thing for manufacturing.
Very cool. And it sounds like there's going to need to be either upskilling, retraining, as we're talking about, or there will need to be new programs in trade schools, if they still call them that, colleges, ways for people to learn these skills. They may be great with their thumbs on a phone and on all of these digital mobile devices, but they need to learn these skills to work in a factory. Marty, I want to wrap up with you because we have two very, very smart people waiting to present. And I know they're saying, when is it my turn? When is it my turn? I can see them here. Now I made them smile. That's part of relaxing. Marty, DRCM solution can help reduce the impact of COVID-19 on supply chain and manufacturing. I know you have two themes you want to talk about: reduce maintenance costs and, of course, improve productivity. So why don't you take us through those?
Sure, absolutely. Going forward, we're all cash strapped. Cash flow is probably one of the biggest things that supply chain and manufacturing is worried about. How do I get my cash flow? Well, there's bags of gold out there. You just got to know how to tap into them. The right kind of maintenance not only reduces downtime, which gives you better productivity because you don't want to pay overtime and extra costs to try to get the product out, but also the maintenance cost. If you do this properly and use condition-based, you can change your time-based maintenance to more based on hours or based on actual conditions, which is going to reduce your overall maintenance costs. And if you look at these large corporations, I worked at Caterpillar, we had millions and millions and millions of dollars of maintenance costs a year, 10 to 15% improvement. That's instant cash in your pocket, and that's real money. It's not a cost avoidance. So that's one thing. I think the other part of it is the key piece to your supply chain, making sure that supply chain is there and available. We need every ounce of productivity out of these manufacturing or supply chain, and we get that by having equipment that's 100% reliable and always up and running.
Thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk, Managing the New Normal with YASH Technologies and C5MI. To keep the conversation going, tweet your questions and comments to YASH_tech or email john.gretter@yash.com. That's john.gretter@yash.com. We look forward to hearing from you.